Hello, and welcome to Everything You Know About SEO is Wrong. This installment, we're going to be talking about SEO because actually SEO is not really about SEO, so that's why what everybody knows about SEO is wrong. So I'm going to be explaining what that means here very shortly. One of my customers, Jim Blue, is joining us. This is kind of like a live coaching session using a PowerPoint presentation. This PowerPoint presentation will be available via download to anybody who wants it via SlideShare. You may have actually found out about this particular session via SlideShare or via my website, electronicwordofmouth.com. Just quickly, to pay the bills, a little bit more about me. I am a business coach. I'm also an author of the book, Electronic Word of Mouth. Before moving to Santa Barbara, where I work now for myself, I used to work for Santa Monica College Small Business Development Center as a business advisor, coach, trainer, that sort of thing. And before that, I was happy making a six-figure income working for large corporations doing high-end techie stuff. And I'm also certified in Google AdWords, Bing, Yahoo, all that good stuff. And those services are available through my site, electronicwordofmouth.com, as well as my other services, which include WordPress hosting and also custom WordPress design. So you ready to go, Jim?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So first of all, what is SEO? What does everybody know that SEO is? If you've never heard of SEO before, you should know that SEO is an acronym that's thrown around a lot by people in the internet marketing, online, world for making money. It's search engine optimization. It has everything to do with where you're placed in Google or other search engine results. So when somebody types in, hopefully you, they'll see you at least at the first page of search results. So the whole purpose of SEO is to get you to that first page and closest to the top as possible. So SEO, as people know it, is essentially a skill that people pay for that allows websites to look like they are the number one global authority on the internet about whatever that keyword is. Now, this is kind of where, everything that you've heard and know about SEO departs completely and goes into the real world. The reason why I say that is because people who want to sell you SEO services, which I personally do not believe that you, unless you're a corporation, should be paying for. If you are a small business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a coach, if you have a private practice, and you have a blog, I do not believe that you should be paying anybody to do your SEO, and there's good reason for it. If you have time to blog, you have time to do your SEO. So that is the thing that I stand by. So let me tell you why that is. So essentially, like I said, SEO allows Google to think that you're the number one authority on the internet for something. In other words, SEO is really designed to trick Google into thinking that you're number one in the world. And then what they do is they take all the number ones in the world and then they rank them based on what they think, who is the best match for the number one spot for being a global authority on something. And here's the tricky part that a lot of people who are in the SEO business will not tell you about. Google will slap you if you get caught lying about being the number one global authority on something. So you may or may not heard of Google slap. If you've never heard of SEO, you've probably never heard of that. But I'll be telling you more about that and why that is. And I was talking with my wife about this earlier. It's so true. With SEO, you are basically talking the talk. In other words, you're saying you're number one at something when you use certain keywords to get ranked highest in the world. Well, Google has a way to find out if you're actually walking the walk. So you not only have to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. What walk the walk means is that when somebody comes to your site, if they click back to go to Google and find a different site because yours wasn't a match for what they were really looking for, Google is going to put you down in the search rankings. And that's a fact. Nobody discusses that. Why? Because everything that people know about SEO is wrong. There's a real world use for Google, and what most people talk about SEO, that's not it. It's to get you ranked. But then what happens whenever you get ranked? The most important thing is that you don't get slapped. And the second most important thing is that you keep your ranking by earning it. So we'll talk more about that. Okay, so you want to try this little bit of an experiment here. And that is, if you get an email or some sort of solicitation from an SEO expert, somebody who's going to do your SEO for you, and you tell them that you're a plastic surgeon in, let's say, San Diego. It could be anywhere. It could be Florida. It could be Santa Barbara. They will tell you they can get you on first page. Matter of fact, just the other day, I got one that said that they'll get you at the top of the first page. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, right. That's something that, like, if somebody says that to you, you need to run away screaming. So first page, that's really not all that unreasonable unless you have an extremely competitive market for what it is that you offer. You know how we've got all these commercials for P90X, right, Jim? You are one of those people that on your website, you offer people P90X, yes? If you expect to get to the first page for P90X, you're living in a fantasy world. Okay, the reason why is because the number one authority on P90X is Beachbody, the company that makes it. And then the other authorities on it are people like the guy who created it. And other authorities are also like the reviewers, any major what we call first tier websites, like, for example, magazines like Huffington Post, Time.com, Fox News, anybody else that has a ton of traffic. And when they say something, it carries a tremendous amount of weight. When those people talk about P90X, like this guy, Paul Ryan, right? He's a politician who's doing P90X. So all those stories about P90X, those get the first page. And then after that comes other people who are also talking about P90X or selling P90X, that sort of thing, okay? Now, you, Jim, are one of a number of, tens of thousands of people who also sell P90X, right?
Right.
So, this presents a really unique problem, and that is if you are P90X, then you are the authority on P90X, but you're not P90X. You're one person who's a representative who sells some things, including P90X.
Right.
The truth is that if there was something unique about you, it would not be that you sell P90X. Google is looking for what is unique about what it is you have to offer. Okay? So we'll get a little more into how to be the number one global authority on what makes you unique, because that is how you can get to the first page, not by trying to say, pick one keyword and go, oh yeah, if every time that somebody came to your site, well, not every time, but if a large majority of the time people came to your site, whenever they type P90X and they see you and they go there, then what would happen is that if people weren't buying it, you would get knocked down in the rankings. So if somebody was going to your site for P90X and they bought P90X, you'd get ranked higher. Okay, but you don't have the kind of clout and authority that Beachbody does, or that the creator of P90X, Tony Horton, does, or all the major first-tier websites that are reviewing P90X and talking about P90X, news stories that involve P90X. Dr. Oz, was talking about Beachbody and different programs like that. So you get the idea, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you do talk to an SEO expert, they'll tell you that they'll get you to the first page. They'll also tell you it'll take 3 months. Why? Because the truth is that whenever you plant your flag and say, okay, I am the number one authority on this particular thing, it takes Google a while to get you indexed and to really kind of reinforce the notion that you're the number one authority on something. And usually they mean several keywords. They don't just mean one. And so over time, after looking at when people come to your site, and then there's certain behaviors that Google is analyzing, they're looking to see whether or not you fit those keywords, or maybe there's other keywords that might fit better for you. So also too, by the way, one of the things that the SEO expert will not ask you is, are you a plastic surgeon? Because the idea here is you're contacting an SEO expert and telling them that you're a plastic surgeon in San Diego or wherever. This means that if they say, yes, I'll be happy to put you on page 1 of Google, then they are lying to Google. If they don't ask you if you're a plastic surgeon and you're not a plastic surgeon. Truth is, they're lying to Google anyway. You know, if you don't actually have the kind of track record that the #1 global authority would have, then whenever you use SEO to try to get yourself positioned higher, then you are lying to Google. Now, some people say you got to fake it till you make it, right? And in this instance, what that means is that if you're going to use the words to position yourself as the #1 global authority on something, you better be able to back it up. You talk the talk, you walk the walk, that sort of thing. Okay, so now it's great news for you if an SEO expert can get you on the first page, right? So if you're, let's say, a board certified dentist, like Dr. Kurt Dangle, who wants to do unauthorized plastic surgery. Okay, so catch this. If you're a board certified dentist, like this guy, Dr. Kurt Dangle, who wants to do unauthorized plastic surgery, this is great news that you can get put on page 1 of Google, isn't it? It's bad news if you're one of the 5 people who died while undergoing one of his procedures. Because this Dr. Kurt Dangle guy is a real dentist who was performing real plastic surgery, and actually people died under his care. And he has a website, and he, guess what, ranked on Google, right? Now, this is a long time ago. Things have changed since then. But, you know, this is how it worked. It used to be like a Wild West. You could just plant a flag, say, I'm the #1 expert, and there would be no real proof, you know, that that's the case. But Google is very adept at sniffing out those people that are actually not real and that they're not authorities. So the long and short of it is that anybody can claim to be the #1 global authority on anything for free if they know how to do it, or for a fee. So how does Google know who is fake and who is not fake? Google implements a number of different algorithms. Okay, that just means, you know, like a computer routine that produces a result to show who is a real authority and who is not. So how Google ranks people is called the algorithm, and nobody really knows exactly what it is except Google. But there are a number of people that are in the SEO business, and they have some ideas. And according to Google, and Google has publicly said certain things about the algorithm in a way to kind of get people to play by their rules. They have said that, for example, there's over 200 different things that go into the algorithm. One of them being, whenever you buy your domain name, if you buy it only for 1 year at a time, they're less likely to think that you're an authority on something than somebody who buys it for 10 years at a time.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, so little things like that. Google measures those things because those things are quickly available. Google indexes sites and they look at all these different things. Perhaps most importantly, they look at who is linked to your site. That's the thing that's going to get you the most authority granted to you by Google. Whenever people start linking to you, that says you're an authority. You got nobody linking to you, you got to really work hard to prove to Google that you're the authority. Okay, so so about how Google finds out who's fake and who is not. So even so, SEO experts will find ways and try to beat Google at their game. So one of the things that these SEO experts do is they created these things called link farms. They're basically, you know, what is it? Whenever you're on the internet and you type somebody's website address and you get the wrong address, and you see a bunch of links that go to different things that are similar to what you were looking for. Those are called link farms. All they are is just pages and pages of links that go to websites. Okay? So what these SEO experts do is they take these customers of theirs and they put links to them on these link farms. And it's a way of generating credibility for the people that they're linked to, their customers. So when you type the wrong thing, let's say that you want to buy an Arabian horse, okay? So you leave out one of the A's in Arabian, and you type in buy Arabian horse.com, and then what you see is a whole ton of pages for Arabian horses. So whenever you click on that link and go to that site, well, guess what? Google is monitoring that sort of behavior, and they will then say, oh, this is a good site, because when he went there, he didn't click back. And when he went there, he spent a lot of time. And when he went there, he clicked on more than one page. That's what Google considers somebody to be more of an authority than somebody who, whenever they go to your site, they click back, because they realize that wasn't the right match for what they were looking for. Okay. Now, for those who try to beat Google at their own game, they get slapped. Their customers will get slapped. SEO experts will not talk generally about the Google slap. If you're smart, you can ask them about the Google slap, and they will actually start talking to you a little differently. They'll start being a little more frank with you about how it is that they do their work. See, the truth of it is that lately, in the past year and a half, Google has been rolling out, well, they always do this. They always roll out these little increments. Sometimes they're bigger updates to their algorithm, and they give them names like Penguin and Panda. And, each one is designed to try to sniff out who is an authority and who is not an authority. Who is it that whenever somebody types something and they go to that site, that they're a real, like they actually provide some value, what they call a rich user experience. In simple terms, non-jargon terms, authority. That's what they're looking for. When you go to that site and you don't click back, that's, good for you. It's even better whenever that person will go and click on a couple different links on your page, stay on your site. They measure the amount of time that you're on that site. And then if you've got links that come into your site, well then, hey, you are an authority. You deserve to be on page one. You want to know how to get on page one? Do those things. Have links to your site. Make sure that when somebody comes to your site, they don't click back. Make sure that they click on something. Make sure that they spend time on your site. There's a number of different ways of doing this. I'll tell you one easy way. One easy way is to limit the number of choices that are available to somebody whenever they come to your site. If they come to your site and then they just sit there and they read and they read and they read and they go, I don't see what it is that I want, they're going to click back. So it's kind of a two-way street, right? But if you have a video and they sit there and they watch the video, that clock is ticking, tick, 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 right? And then while they're listening to that video, they're looking at your menu items and they're thinking, oh, as soon as this video is over, I'm going to click on that link. That's the kind of thing that gets people to stay on your site and prevents what's called the bounce. So whenever somebody does that thing where they go to your site and they click back, that's called bounce. So Google measures your bounce rate. Okay, so if you are the number one authority on something, Google will know the following about you when people go from Google, they type buy Arabian horses, and they go to your site for Arabian horses. The people spend a lot of time on your site. People click on several pages while they're there. People don't search for something similar to what you offer. Like, let's say, for example, they just think, oh, they actually just searched for the wrong thing. That's a bad mark on you, and you don't even know it. People will either subscribe or register on your site. That's a good thing. And so what you want to do is you want to ask your SEO expert, can they do those things for you? Can they actually make people spend time on your site? Can they actually get people to click on several pages? Well, what they're going to basically do is they're going to tell you, oh, well, you need to completely, change your website up. And you know what? Most of the time, they're absolutely right. They're not stupid. They do know a thing or two about how to keep people on your pages. And that's generally the kind of service that they provide. But truth is that you don't need them to tell you that. All you really have to do is just consult somebody who knows something about it, or ask your friends. You could do this, for example. Jim, you could actually have somebody like one of your, well, you remember we talked about your ambassadors?
Yeah, right. Hmm.
Okay, so this is a new term for you if you're watching this video for the first time. The people who regularly buy from you, and then the people who like are kind of on your team to support you, promote your business, help you with your business. In an MLM, your downline are probably your customers who became representatives underneath you. Those are your ambassadors, okay? They're incredibly important to you. I do a whole other video about how important they are. Trust me, they're the most important people in your entire business, okay? They're not regular customers. These are people that will promote you until the day you die, okay? You've got to have them on your team. Go to them and say, hey, what do you think of my site? When you go to my site and you sit in, and let's say that you want X product from me, which I offer, how easy is it for you to get there? Are you able to find it quickly? How much time do you think that you would spend on my site reading my articles? Do you find any of my articles interesting? Do you find yourself clicking around on my site? Or do you just take it all in and then, you're not really interested in clicking on anything in particular? So you want to get that sort of feedback. Now, just so you know, Google Analytics is a program that will also teach you these things. It will show you what your bounce rate is. It will show you whether it's going up or whether it's going down. Anything less than like an 80% bounce rate is actually quite good. I have some websites that have like a 45% bounce rate. That's really good. Majority of people will go on more than 2 pages per visit. That's good. That's really good. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to think about. How can you make it more interesting for people? So one of the things that I did was I put on my own site, I put a nice slideshow that will take a while, to complete. And if somebody wants to sit there and read my slideshow and click through my slideshow, that's good for me. And then I limited the number of choices so that whenever people come to my site, they're either going to click home, which they're already there, or they're going to click blog, and then they're going to look at my blog entries, or they're going to click, get your free website, because I design websites for free for people. And if they love them, then they can host them with me, and my prices are very reasonable. I think it's the best bargain in the world, if you ask me. Plus, they get free training like this. Now, there's that get your free site choice, and then there's other ones like free training, okay? So the idea is to limit people to what they can do whenever they get there, to force them to basically find out more information by doing the most important thing, which is to click something to get more information. If you have too much information on your front landing page, you could actually be giving people the idea that they understand everything that you have to offer just by looking at that front page. Not necessarily the best plan in the world, but for people who are very focused on what it is that they want when they come to your site, it's a good thing, because then they can go directly to it. If somebody doesn't really know what they want when they come to your site, then, they will either make a snap decision that they can't get it from you and they'll go somewhere else, or they'll start clicking around. So it's something to just keep in mind whenever you are looking at how is your site designed. Oftentimes, simpler is better, because it means that people are going to be spending more time on your site. Okay, next. So let's say, here we go, slide 9. So what can an SEO expert do for you? Quite simply, they will optimize your pages for the keywords that are important to you. Now, the truth is, you can do that. One of the things that I do with all of my customers is I sit down and I show them how to use the on-page SEO keyword tool. It's called WordPress SEO by Yoast. It's, as you may know, WordPress is one of the best, blogging platforms in the world. And the WordPress SEO by Yoast plugin is one of the best SEO plugins for that purpose. And it's free. It's free to you, no matter if you're a customer of mine or not. But, it's free. You can do it for yourself. I show people how to do it. As a matter of fact, I should probably make a video to show exactly how to do it. You can easily go to YouTube and just type WordPress SEO by Yoast tutorial or how to, and you'll find out how easy it is. It's not hard, but it does take a little bit of, like learning how to use it. Okay. Anybody can do it though. If you can blog, you can do your own SEO. Okay, so an SEO expert will also find ways to create backlinks to your site. This is what Google is looking for the most. And the truth is, if you have good, compelling content, if you talk the talk and say you're the number one expert on something, and you walk the walk, in other words, you actually provide that for people when they come to your site, people are going to naturally link to your site. It's a natural thing. It happens, as they say, organically. You don't have to do anything for it to grow on its own. It will grow without your interference, without any extra actions if you've got compelling content. So that's something that Google looks for. SEO experts will find ways to manipulate those backlinks and artificially create backlinks to your site. That's actually a really bad idea. These latest updates from Google will fish those out, and then they will slap you, which means that they'll take you from the first page rankings on Google to somewhere off into the twilight zone. And then you have to contact Google and say, please, Google, put me back up. And then they will look at your, situation, and they'll tell you, okay, well, look, this is a problem. This is a problem. You need to unassociate yourself with this link that comes to your site. Why? Because the SEO expert was the one who put it there. So you've got to do those things to get your rankings back in order. So very, very bad to get Google slapped. It can take weeks to get back up. If your business depends on the internet search, you don't want to get slapped. It's the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
So the other thing they'll do is they'll come up with all kinds of other methods to trick Google. They are always, always, always looking for the next way to trick Google. One of the tricks that SEO experts used to tell everybody, and I still see people doing this, and it just drives me nuts, is that they'll go into the little field where you describe your tagline of your site. And then people will put in keywords with a pipe. You know what a pipe character is? It's the one that's just a line, right? It's above your enter key on your keyboard. It's, there's a backslash. If you shift backslash, there's a pipe character, right? So they'll put Arabian horses, pipe, thoroughbreds, pipe, for sale, pipe. Okay.
Oh, right.
They're doing something called keyword stuffing, and Google is very explicit. Do not do keyword stuffing. It is unnatural. And I know all kinds of SEO social media gurus saying, "Oh, do this, and it will get you boosted in rankings." Well, the truth is that Google is. I'm not going to tell you that they will slap you, because I actually know of a company who still does that, and they still show up high in the rankings, but they don't show up high in rankings where they should, and it's a crime. So, anyways, it's just how it is. So, don't keyword stuff. Another way of keyword stuffing is to take the keyword that you want to use in your article that you're writing or blog post that you're writing, and they repeat it several times. Well, you know what? You need to write naturally. You can't just keep stuffing that keyword in there. It doesn't look good. Somebody from Google actually reads that and they go, "Oh, this sounds so unnatural." Or you see different variations of that keyword over and over. You say, you can buy Arabian horses or thoroughbred horses or blah, 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 or, and do that 3 times during the page. They know that you're trying to keyword stuff, and they'll knock you off for that. So you got to be very careful. The idea is just write natural. Why? Because if you just write natural, people are more likely to share your stuff and to link to it. If you don't write natural, then people are probably not going to link to you. They're going to think you're spamming everybody. Nobody wants to link to spam. Make sense?
Yeah. I've actually heard both of those things, to use the piping thing and to do sort of and to repeat your keyword throughout your article. Not like not super obviously, but and you put it in the first paragraph and then bold it in the second paragraph and then italicize it in the third paragraph or whatever.
Yes. Now, you see, the thing about that is that there was a time when that worked, but Google has figured out that people try to manipulate their authority by doing that. Because SEO experts picked up on, oh, when I do this, it gets a higher rank in Google. Ooh, I tell all my customers do this. And then the word on the street becomes, ooh, everybody do this. Google will figure that out eventually, and then they're going to slap you. That's how it works.
Shoot.
Yeah. So here is the thing I was telling you about Google Slap. So if you go to Google and you type Google Slapped, essentially means that you're banned from Google. They will not rank you for the keywords that they see you trying to rank for. If you sell something online and you depend on that, forget it. You're banished. Okay, so you may have to spend several weeks trying to make it up to Google and to get yourself back in order. Now this, where I've got circled in red here, is a paid ad of getbackonGoogle.com, where they will try to get you back on Google. Well, the truth is, it is a long and painful process, and it might actually be helpful to hire somebody who knows what they're doing to get you back on Google quickly. But I doubt that it would ever really matter, other than saving you some frustration of having to do it yourself. But the truth is, you should really embrace that burn. Go through the pain, because you're going to learn the hard way. Don't try to manipulate your rankings. Google will catch you. And that's what SEO has become, manipulating rankings. Doesn't matter if you're a plastic surgeon or not. They're going to put you on page 1. They promise they will, and they will do that. And then you're going to get slapped. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that all SEO companies out there are bad. But what I can tell you is that if they were, you would not know until it's too late. Better to learn to do it yourself so that you don't have to pay somebody and end up paying a hard way for believing somebody else. My philosophy is, look, I'm not a guru. I'm just telling you what it is that I have seen work. That's my specialty. I have seen what works, and what works is do it yourself. Learn how to do this thing. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Don't try to manipulate Google. They will slap you. It's a fact. Now here, this is the second page on that same search. What is a Google slap? Written by an article by WiseGeek. How to avoid getting Google slapped by wordstream.com. Very reputable SEO company, by the way. PerryMarshall.com. How to survive Google slap part 3. Perry Marshall, I owe tremendous amounts to Perry Marshall. He is a fantastic Google AdWords expert who wrote like the Bible on Google AdWords. Great guy. I respect him a lot. And he has an article on how to survive a Google slap. And he'll tell you how to prevent it too. I use all of his trainings. How to avoid being Google slapped by SearchEngineJournal.com, another reputable SEO authority on all these guys who do SEO, they read all these resources. Well, maybe not Perry Marshall, but and then a Wikipedia entry on who it is that came up with the term Google slap. Yahoo News, Google slapped, but that's news about Google getting slapped with a fine, and then you see again da 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 da. So you get the idea here. Besides the news, why Google Panda, which is one of the Google updates that I mentioned, slapped quality sites. In other words, sites that didn't need to be slapped because they were quality sites. It still had to do with people trying to manipulate their rankings. And that's something that you want to avoid doing. Just do the natural thing, which is provide quality content, make sure that all of the things that are important for SEO are done. And if you follow my training, you'll do all those things the right way. So don't worry. Okay. And you can see there's tons of results that have to do with the Google slap. It is a big, big issue. And it's only a big issue because of SEO experts. Okay. If it weren't for these smart experts, we wouldn't have this Google slap thing. Okay. So if you pretend to be an authority, you will get slapped. It's true. SEO experts' job is to lie about you to Google so that they will rank you higher. If they get caught, you get slapped. Google will not come after the people that did that for you, by the way. That is not their job. The SEO experts will not tell you about this fact. They will also tell you that it shouldn't happen. Oh, it shouldn't happen to you. Oh, don't worry. We know what we're doing, or some other story. Okay. I do not sell SEO services. I do not believe in that. Now, somebody can come to me and say they want to get ranked higher on Google. Very simply, I just try to teach them exactly how it is that they should do it, the way that Google wants you to do it. Why? Google actually publishes all kinds of PDFs and training and all that sort of stuff on how to get ranked higher naturally. That's what I teach. I just teach from the book. I don't teach from the black book. So that's the big difference here. Truth is, you can do this for yourself. You will need to determine what your keywords are. That'll be the hardest part. And that comes down to figuring out what the purpose of your website is, figuring out what your unique offering is that people who are trying to find you, what words they use to find you and what words you want to be used to be found. When that is a match, then what you've done is you've determined what the proper keywords are. Sometimes it is a matter of experimenting with different keywords, but listen, if you're in Philadelphia and you offer a fit club in Philadelphia, well, by golly, you ought to be using Philadelphia Fit Club. It's not hard. It's really not hard. But for some people who don't feel that they stick out at all, one of the things that you need to do is you need to figure out, how do you stick out? Obviously, and as we went over, by the way, at the previous training about target markets, you want to know what it is that your purpose is. Very simply put, look at the people that are buying from you now. What do they say that you offer? Chances are, if they really believe in you, they'll tell you what your purpose is. It shouldn't be a mystery at all. It's not hard. You just may need to ask them and say, hey, what do you think I provide? And then they'll tell you, oh, well, you're the best, blah, 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 blah. And you go, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. Now, it's probably something you already know, but hearing it come from their words yourself is like, oh, it's validation. My purpose really is this. You see?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like you remember how I talked about the identity crisis thing, like businesses have an identity crisis when they try to think about their target market, like, oh, they don't know who they are in the midst of the world.
Right.
Very simply put, you may think that your business is about X, but it could actually be about Y.
Right.
And, the truth is that some people try to push themselves as being something that they're not. I would never try to push myself as being a guru of any type. I have a background in training. I like to train people. And what do I train people on? Stuff that I have experienced myself. If I learn how to do something and how to learn how to do something, I will teach people how to do that. That's what I do. I'm good at taking things that are very complex, like SEO, and making it very meat and potatoes. Hey, it's about authority. A certain skill set is required to be able to come up with that kind of an idea, which I came up with that idea. I can't think of a simpler way of understanding what SEO is about than to just say it's all about authority. And then people go, oh, it's about authority. And then they start thinking the right way. Oh, if it's about authority, then I need to figure out what my keywords are that match what authority I am. Do I run a fit club in Philadelphia? Yes. I am an authority on fit clubs in Philadelphia. I can write about fit clubs in Philadelphia. The next thing you know, people will be searching for Fit Club Philadelphia, and they will find you. It's that simple. It's easy, isn't it? I mean, it's not hard. Okay.
Well, in theory, it sounds easy.
No, here's the thing. I'm not going to lie. It's simple, and people overcomplicate it. Okay, but I'm not going to say that it's easy because it requires patience. It requires testing. Right. It requires a bit of honesty that people typically don't want to deal with. Like, why do you think that people hire SEO experts? It's because they aren't willing to grapple with the marketing end of their business in an honest way. It's no different than the diet pill industry. People want a quick fix. They want to pay somebody to have it done for them. And it's just ridiculous.
Right.
And just like a liposuction that goes bad, you can get Google slapped. It's no different. Okay, right. So as I was mentioning before, you do need to determine your keywords.
Right.
You only need to actually do is think about your on-page SEO and also how to get people to link to you. Now, you need to tap your ambassadors for this. You have a downline, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're your ambassadors. They're people that were your customers, and they loved what you do so much and what you're about that they became representatives underneath you, not some other coach, right? If they have a website, they should have a page devoted to you with your link on it. And it should state what it is that you're about. This is a link to your site. Now, Google will actually measure, the value of that site against yours. And if it's higher than yours, if it gets more traffic than yours, they will rank you higher. If it's lower, the sheer number of links will help you. If they're real links, if they're not, artificially, manipulated and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll need ambassadors to share about you, your page, your blog, your latest article, so that others can see it, read it, and if they like it, link it. This is the organic method. And if you don't actually have your ambassadors being your representatives out there and sharing what it is that you talk about and do, you're foolish. Now, here's the beautiful thing. You got these downline coaches, right?
Uh-huh.
When they sell product, it benefits you, right?
Right.
You should be tweeting and sharing every interesting article that they write about from their blog.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a page on your blog that says, "This is my team. These are the people who lost weight because of me. I helped them. These are my success stories." Here are people who are working from home. They're independent. They're financially independent. This should be a reciprocal thing.
Makes sense.
Yes? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And Google loves this sort of stuff. Are you kidding me? Okay. So now we're at the end. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I mean, I get what you're saying about all, and I'm glad to find out that I've been doing it wrong. But
good news.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's in a way, yeah, sad but good. And then, but as far as the actual nuts and bolts of actually doing that keyword strategy, and you're saying the two things you need to do here is the on-page SEO,
mm-hmm.
And optimizing your pages with right. Exactly how to do that is still not clear in my mind. But
have we done the training yet where I show you how to do that?
Just say again. I'm sorry.
Have you and I done the training on how to do that?
No.
That would be why.
Yeah.
When you sign up with me as a customer, I'll teach you how to use WordPress, a one-on-one on WordPress, and then we'll schedule a second time where I'll show you how to do the SEO. Not everybody takes advantage of it, and I'm sure that I talked to you about it at some point, and maybe it just was something that we just didn't do, and it's really important, and maybe it's because people don't get how important it is and how easy it is that you can do this. And I'm getting a message here from Veronica, who's also on our webinar here. You know what? Maybe what I should do is I should set up a time on Friday of next week where I will do it live in this webinar setting. Okay, how does that sound?
That sounds great. Yeah.
Good. So if you're watching this video right now, then you can tune into another webinar episode, and I will actually walk through some examples of doing this live, so that it's more obvious how it works. And like I said, there's a ton of videos out there that show you how to do it, but it's even better to have somebody walk you through and explain each thing, because part of my gift is that I can take something complex and make it simple. And I think that it really helps to have somebody walk you through it. So we will do that on Friday. So this will be like, everything you know about SEO is wrong. Part 2, which is how to actually do your on-page SEO. Okay. And then the other thing that you want to focus on is how to get your pages and site linked by your ambassadors. Don't focus on anybody else. Remember the target market class that we did? Don't focus on anybody but your target market. Your target market also has an audience. Everything you do has an audience. But as far as your efforts go for sharing about your business, focus on your target market. Sorry, your ambassadors. Did I say target market? Focus on your ambassadors. Your ambassadors are your target market.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. That's the people that you're already doing business with, by the way, for those who didn't see that. But you should definitely watch that whole video. Was it illuminating watching that video, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just a whole nother way. Yeah, a whole nother way of thinking about it, I think.
Well, good. I hope that you enjoyed it a great deal and it really helped you, because that's what my plan is here.
Okay. Good.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up then. If you have any questions, you can reach me at electronicwordofmouth.com. That's my website. There's a contact form you can use. And also by email at electronicwordofmouth@gmail.com. And if you found any value at all in this video, please share it. Let people know that it is long. It's 50 minutes, I believe, but it is worth it if that is what you think. So if you think it's worth it, please share it. Let people know that it's worth it. And also let them know how you feel about it. That's important too. If you felt like this alleviated any of the mystery around SEO, then tell them that. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jim. And thank you for joining us also watching this video. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you.